Glasgow is one of the world's greatest footballing cities. It's home to two giant clubs in Celtic and Rangers, as well as giving birth to greats of the game such as Kenny Dalglish, Jock Stein and Sir Alex Ferguson. But what would a current Glasgow team look like if you could only use players born in the Scottish city? Here is the Glasgow Born XI. In goal it's David Marshall. He began his career at Celtic, making 35 league appearances in between the sticks before moving across the border, spending the majority of his career in England. Although it was technically Wales, as he spent 7 years at Cardiff. Now with Hull City, he may have lost his place in the starting 11 to Eldin Jakubovic, but he's number one in our Glasgow 11. At right back we have IKECHI ANYA. It's been an odd career for the Glasgow native, and most would be excused for forgetting that he actually is Scottish. ANYA began his career at Wycombe, but would move to Spain in 2009, and would really make his name on loan at Watford. Now with Derby, ANYA has scored 3 times for his country, including a goal against Germany back in 2014. Our first centre-back is Charlie Mulgrew. Our second player to begin his career at Celtic, Mulgrew would have 2 spells with the Hoops, but would make his Celtic debut in 2010, despite turning professional back in 2002 with the club. Known for his versatility and his set-piece ability, Mulgrew is struggling near the bottom of the Championship with Blackburn right now. He's alongside GREER, another Glaswegian playing for Blackburn. GREER started his career with Clyde 17 years ago, and has spent most of his career with Kilmarnock and Brighton, spending 6 years at each. Now aged 36, GREER is approaching the end of his career, but we want a bit of experience in our Glasgow 11. At left back it's Andy Robertson. Another Hull player in this lineup, Robertson has impressed in England since swapping Dundee United for Hull City. While the Tigers are struggling in the Premier League and could well be heading back to the second tier, it's highly likely that Robertson will get himself a move to another Premier League club. He had a brief youth spell with Celtic before joining Queen's Park and has been capped 14 times for Scotland. On the right of midfield we have Robert Snodgrass. It was almost a hat-trick of Hull players, but Snodgrass would leave the Tigers in January, moving to West Ham. The winger was born in Glasgow in 1987, but has never played for a club based in the city. His exploits in Scotland saw him play for Livingston and Stirling Albion before joining Leeds in 2008. Snodgrass has been a star in the Premier League this season, and it looked as though his performances were going to propel Hull to safety before he jumped ship. In the middle of the park it's James McCarthy. Another man who actually hasn't played in Glasgow. McCarthy's youth career would begin with Hamilton in 2003, where he would spend 7 years before joining Wigan. Now with Crystal Palace, McCarthy is a Rangers fan and has openly said that he wishes to play for the Gers one day. Hopefully he gets his wish. McCarthy is paired with his former teammate at Wigan, James McCarthy. Just like McCarthy, McCarthy began his career with Hamilton before joining the Latics. Despite being born in Glasgow, McCarthy represents the Republic of Ireland at international level due to the Irish links throughout his family. The midfielder grew up as a Celtic fan, but was turned down by their youth side before joining Hamilton. On the left flank we have AIDEN MCGEADY. Just like McCarthy, McGeady was born in Glasgow but represents the Republic of Ireland. When he burst onto the scene as a tricky winger with Celtic, big things were expected of McGeady, and I think it's fair to say he hasn't totally lived up to the billing. Now aged 30, McGeady is contracted to Everton, but is on loan at Championship side Preston. Up top we have Paul Gallagher. And finally we're back to Glasgow born players who represent Scotland. Well, he did it once back in 2004 in a 4-0 defeat to Wales, but let's not focus on the details here. Gallagher has been a pretty constant figure in English football since his debut back in 2003, playing in the Premier League, Championship and League One. Now aged 32, Gallagher is with Preston, and don't expect him to pick up a second cap anytime soon. And finally, he's alongside Ross McCormack, who was the only player in this side to play for Rangers. McCormack came through the academy at Ibrox, making just 14 appearances for the club before joining Motherwell in 2006. McCormack has since gone on to become one of the best goal scorers the Championship has ever seen, banging them in for Cardiff, Leeds and Fulham, but less so Aston Villa. The Glaswegian's career took a turn for the worse since leaving Fulham, and McCormack probably wishes he was back in Scotland. So that's our Glasgow Born 11. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.